Are you looking to grow some passive income but want to diversify outside of the stock market with all those volatilities and some of the craziness revolving around Silicon Valley Bank and some of the other financial institutions? Today I'm going over 5 different crowdfunding real estate platforms that I have been investing in and that you can continue collecting some dividends from them. The first 3 on our list, I started investing in about a year and a half ago and started each of them with $1,000, and I'll be comparing what dividends I received during that time. Now, the last 2 on the list are fairly new platforms, and they each have a unique way of how they're investing in real estate. So you definitely want to watch till the end because I'm pretty sure it will pique your interest. Without further ado, let's jump in. Starting off on our list today, we have Fundrise. And now some of the things I really like about Fundrise is they have a really nice website and app to go along with it. Very nice details about different properties and all the information about your funding. And with Fundrise and all these other real estate, your money is tied up in different properties. So average is about 5 years for each of your investments, so different than in the stock market. Looking here at their website, right here you have your total portfolio amount, and you have a nice graph of where you can just scale and look at different timeline of your portfolio. So as far as mine, about last year, at the end of September, I had about over $100 in appreciation, but since then it's pretty much been dropping. And looking at the net returns, you can see a nice timeline quarter by quarter of how your portfolio value is. And as I mentioned, appreciation right now is in a negative, and net dividends that you received. Scroll down here, you get a nice announcements of what's going on. So we're close to tax season right now. And then you have a spotlight, there's stuff happening in the company, and also newsfeed. Now here on the right, pie graph of the breakdown of your investments. And so you have fixed income, which is basically stable properties that are just collecting rent from. Your core plus is more of your growth properties, where minimum growth and also collecting income. And then your value add is renovation properties, and opportunistics is basically they're building from the ground up. Over in portfolio right here, you can see what funds you're in. I'm in the flagship fund. And what's nice about the flagship fund, it's basically a starter fund, and you can start with $10. And with the flagship fund, since this is a starter fund, opportunity to withdraw your money at the end of each quarter without any penalty. A lot of the other funds, you're pretty much locked up about 5 years. I believe around 3 years, you can withdraw your money with a small penalty. And there's very many different funds that I have based on different locations as well. Going over to property types, you can see how the breakdown of what type of investment you're in. You can have single family, multifamily, industrial, as far as those are in the flagship fund. Strategies, you can see the breakdown just like in the pie graph over here. So you have core plus, value add, opportunistics, and fixed income. And the flagship primarily is for a growth fund, so that's why a majority of what I have is in the core plus. You have your nice graph right here where you can scale and kind of see appreciation, and I'm pretty much right at my initial value right there. And you have a breakdown of everything as well. Keep scrolling down here, you have a nice layout of all the properties within your fund, and it tells you if it's a value add or core plus, opportunistics, or fixed income. So just scroll down here, you can see the difference right there. So these are some core plus. And I'm just gonna click on this one right here. You can get a nice quick view. Gives you a little preview of the property. And if you like some more information, you can click right here for view detail. And open up right here. You have a nice picture there. And you can also see the map and where it's located in the US. So just scrolling out here, this one is right outside of Atlanta. You also get some key facts and what strategy it's in and the company stack. The majority of this is in the flagship, but you also have the growth E-REIT. And then you have the property timeline, so you see right here when they acquired it and some of the updates. So it's very nice, and I like that Fundrise pretty much keeps you up to date, and you can look at different properties within your fund. Next, you have the investments, so you can quickly add more capital to your funds, and also you can enable auto invest, and you can see all your transactions and what dividends you have and reinvested. One thing with Fundrise, you can choose to have it reinvested, or you can have your dividends distributed to your bank account, which is nice to have that little option there. And one thing to be fully transparent, as I mentioned, you can withdraw money without penalty from the flagship, and that's what I'm doing right now, just because nothing wrong with Fundrise, just I'm choosing to use that money for other opportunities with other platforms that I'm going to go over today. Lastly, on this more tab, you have your newsfeed, help center, calculator if you want to see a projection of where your money could grow as your portfolio grows, and also browse different investments and funds. Next, we have DiversyFund. So one thing with DiversyFund, your money is locked up for 5 years. Fundrise, you do have the opportunity to withdraw, but you have a penalty. With DiversyFund, pretty much it's locked up, and also the dividends are reinvested. You don't have a choice. Now, their website is pretty nice. However, I have found sometimes it's hard to log in as well as log into the app. Looking here on the home page, right at the top, you have your portfolio total. And when you click that drop down, you can see the different funds that you're in. So I'm in Growth REIT 2 and Growth REIT 3. You can also see the different funds that are available. The two that they have right now are for accredited investors only. So they do have the 2 REITs that I'm in are closed right now. Continue to scroll down here. You have some hypothetical projection of what your portfolio could do in the future based on how much you're investing. You also have some updates to how your portfolio is and what properties are added into it. And then right here you have some FAQs. Now down here you get a nice preview of the newest properties in your portfolio, so you can just scroll and kind of get a nice level view. And if you click on any of them, you get a nice detail about that property. So scrolling right down here, you get the property details. This one is in renovation, and you get more information about each property. And key stats, you get the capital stack right here, where it's located, and also other details about that property. Now looking at another one, we'll open up here. And on the Mission Villas, this one is a cash flowing one, so you can see that under property details, you have about information, key stats, capital stack, where it's located in San Antonio, and other property details. Now moving on to your portfolio, once again at the top here you have your portfolio total, and then you have your portfolio strategy. So similar to Fundrise, you have your value add, your opportunistic, your core plus, and your income. And you get a nice definition of what each of them are right underneath here. And you can see the breakdown of your investments in each of the funds. So right here I have about 500 in each of them. You can see how much dividends are getting acquired in each of those funds. Over here on notification, you'll get your announcements. You have investment updates, rewards, and community. And lastly, you have your portfolio. So that pretty much wraps up DiversyFund. From the funds I'm in, the growth ones, I am receiving more dividends. Not too much appreciation, whereas with Fundrise, I did have appreciation at least last year before it started coming down. Next one on the list is CalTier. Now CalTier also has the website as well as the app. Now it's not as flashy as Fundrise and DiversyFund is. It's a lot more simple. So looking here, you have offerings. Right now, this one has been open about 2 years now as far as building up properties. So they just have one fund, and they will be starting income REIT, and I'm invested in the fund 1. Going over to portfolio, you can see a nice overview of your portfolio, what you're invested in, and the amount of value that you have received, and of course the percentage. So this one I have been receiving 7% within the last year and a half. And the reason the first 2 numbers are different is because they give you the opportunity to have the dividends reinvested or sent to your bank account. So I chose to have it sent to my bank account, so that's why those 2 numbers there are a bit different. And you can also see your asset values and the allocation. Right now they only have 1 fund, so that's why there's really no difference right here. And at the bottom here, you pretty much have the same information you had above, but it would break down fund by fund versus at the top would be your total. And right here, you can see your pending transactions, which I don't have any, your transaction history, which is pretty nice. I put in $500 2 different times, and you can see all your transactions right there. So you have my account, which I won't be showing because it has different personal information. Then you have my documents as well, which will be all your legal documents when you open the account, and also tax documents. You do have, when you go to offering, if you learn more, you can get a little more information about the property in their offering document and want to invest now. And you can see different updates. So this will show like when they added more properties. You'll also get an email too, and then also get an email when they're doing distributions. So like right here is the July payment. And as they acquire more and more properties, distributions are happening more frequently. And right here you can see portfolio updates and the funds growing and everything. So it is nice. They'll give you some updates and also send out emails. Next on our list is Conceit. Now Conceit for your dashboard is only on the app. They do have a website about information about their company and also opening an account. I think their app is pretty great. It's nice and simple and really just tells you the basics of what you need to know. Here on the homepage, you do have your total portfolio and a nice graph here. For me, I started in May 1st of 2022, so it's been about 10 months, and within that time got almost $25, so very nice return. And scroll down here, within that time I have about a 6%. If I keep scrolling on here, one thing that I really like about Conceit is they're very unique in the way they distribute their dividends. They do this weekly, so you can see right here, every Friday I'll be getting paid a dividend, and you can kind of watch it grow. So as the week goes on, basically your dividends are tallying up. And you also can see what each week is, and also you can have a monthly view of what dividends you received right there. Scrolling here, you'll see recent activities. So you can see dividends coming in, any transaction you made, and when your dividends are reinvested. And I think it's very beginner friendly because you can start with $1 and you get dividends weekly. Now, of course, with $1, you won't get as much as a dividend payout as you will with larger amounts in your portfolio, but it is very nice to be able to start with $1 and just get your feet wet. Going over here, one new feature that they added is the set goals. And right here, you can set any type of goal based on what you want to have this particular portfolio do. For me, I just set up a simple one just to have an example here. So basically when you set it up, I set this up for income. I just put, I want $100 monthly, and you can have a nice view, and you can set, hey, if I add this amount monthly, what would it look like in the future? And also right here, you can set up auto investments based on what you choose right here. Moving on to the portfolio, you get a nice breakdown right here. They have bridge, construction, and heavy rehabilitation. Now with Conceit, how their company works, they are investing in properties, but through giving out loans. And that's how they are able to give you dividend payouts weekly. So they are connected to properties, but it's a different way. You're giving out loans to different companies, and then you're basically like the bank collecting on the payments on those loans. Right here, you'll have different highlights for each of those properties, and we can just look at one of them. We'll just do right here, and you get a nice overview of these properties. You see all the pictures right there. You see where it's located and what type of property this is. So this is a bridge, and that's the loan amount. You can get information about this asset, and scroll down here, you get a little information on why the company invested in it and what they like about it. And then here's all different type of pictures of this investment and other property details right here, and more information about the location. So this is in Washington, and you can see right here the investment overview and property valuation and how much is tied up in the loan, the timeline, so the loan acquired and now they sold it last year. And here's a geographical spread throughout the United States where all the different properties are. And right here, at time of recording, I'm getting about 6% for my investment. And you get updates as well. Slacking a little bit of updates the last couple of months, but last year you pretty much got to update every single month of what properties they're investing in and stuff about the company. Now here on the side is basically your welcome center, and also you get messages from the company. They also every week gives you an email of, hey, you got your dividends this week and the amount, and also get different notifications in the app itself. Now one thing I do like to point out is that one new thing that they are rolling out solely to different investors is that they will have opportunity for you to invest in individual real estate. So that is coming, and excited about that. I think that'll be really cool. Right here in this green button is where you can invest more money in your account or set up auto investment. And clicking the profile on top here, you can have your account activity, which is kind of like the same we saw on the homepage of all your dividends and transactions. You have your reward activity with referrals or different bonuses that you get. You have your auto investment schedule, which you can set up. And one thing that I do like about Conceit, especially for new beginners, is that you can request withdrawals. They are a little bit more liquid than other platforms I've gone over today. You can request basically a withdrawal and they'll review, and so here's more information about withdrawing. Then you have your bank account information, your account information, investor profile, documents. Next on our list is ReAlpha. Now ReAlpha is very unique because they are using a combination of AI in addition to experienced retail investors to have a combination of two to pick their properties. Now to scroll on here on their homepage, they have been building a fund. I've invested in their Reg A fund as they started acquiring funds to start building different properties. They just started opening up the investment of their first property, and they are doing a webinar March 28th. So this video should be out before then. So they'll be giving more information about that. Scroll in here, you get more information about the different companies, what their focus is. And here is the AI that I mentioned and why they're using the AI and how they're grading each of the properties so that AI basically filters out different properties and then they kind of pick and choose based on other criteria. Their whole thing is being part of different rentals that you can go to and feel like you're part owner, and really turning Airbnb into different assets. Now, out of the 5 I've gone over today, if I had to choose just one, and I'm a beginner getting my feet wet into real estate, I would choose Conceit. I think it's the most beginner friendly. You can start with as little as $1. You get weekly dividend payouts, and also we have that opportunity to have a withdrawal. So I think that's a great beginner platform, and looking at the dividends I received so far, it's about 6%. Now the next one on my list is ReAlpha. I think with their AI, they call it the ReAlpha brain, and the combination with experienced real investors, I think that's a great combination to have, especially with everything with AI right now. And they are fairly new, the same with Conceit. They've just been around for about a year now, and ReAlpha just opened up their first property, which is a Jasmine. I am planning to invest in the Jasmine, and they do have that webinar happening this next week. So if you are interested in it, definitely check that out. For everything I'm talking over, I will have links to all of their websites down in my description, as well as some of them being of referral links. And drop me down a comment what your thoughts are about any of these. And if you're looking for some stock analysis, definitely go check out one of my previous videos right over here, and I'll catch you over there. Have a blessed day. Peace.